Welcome to the third installment of Storytime with Deadpool. I will be your host, Wade Winston Wilson, aka the Merc with the Mouth, aka Crimson Comedian, aka Regenerative Degenerate, aka Deadpool. And this is my associate slash cohort, Hydra Bob. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
I'm still house training him. Okay. So how many of you, raise your hand if you have been to Storytime before? Oh, so we have a bunch of virgins in the room. I'm gonna have so much fun with you. All right, now before I go any further, this is considered the late night panel. So, is anyone, raise your hand if you're not okay with 18 plus. Sorry, it looks like I'll be doing this by myself. Bob, get out.
Well, you're my ride.
You're right. I'm also your ride, so.
So get out.
All right, so as this works, what I will do is I will read two stories, the cowboy and the princess. I will let the audience choose, based off of approval, which which story I will start. And then my associate here will walk out into the audience and select 6 volunteers. Those 6 volunteers will come up on stage and will be given, what's the word, adjective? You know, like city, he, she, it, they, stuff like that. Pronoun, yeah, I failed high school, so. You will be given a pronoun, you will give me the answer to that pronoun, and then you will have a lovely seat on stage. You will give me your name with your consent, and then I will read off the story. When I come to the point where with your given word, you will come up to the microphone, you will say the word to the audience, and then I will continue with the story. Now, if anyone has any trouble coming up on stage, get out. You sit your booty down. I'm talking to you. All right, for those of you that have family, friends, or whatever, who are lazy and boring people who didn't happen to manage to come to my panel today, this will be uploaded to the Nerd Caliber YouTube page. If you're a fan of Nerd Caliber already. Okay, so we have some fans out there. Subscribe to Nerd Caliber, and you will be able to view this over and over and over and over and over again. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, can the left side, my left, your right side of the room hear me?
Yes. How unfortunate.
Right side, show them some love. Left side, you won't get another chance like that. And back of the room. Right side, they put you to shame. And this is the last chance, even though, literally, if you can't hear me sitting in the front row, you shouldn't be here. This is an all-vocal panel. Front row, can you hear me? I love you guys. Oh, shut up, Bob. All right. Now, which story should we read first? If you wish to see, this is not a video recorded panel, so they can't see any. If you would like to hear the cowboy, let me hear you shout. Yeah. If you would like to hear the princess, let me hear you shout. Cowboy it is! No, we shall start with the princess. If I'm anything, I am fair. So, Bob, before I smack you in the back of the head, please go out into the audience and select our 6 volunteers. Yes, 6. Can you count? That was 7 fingers you held up. And so begins the story of, unfortunately, I feel...
Shut up!
I love you, I hate you, I can't stop thinking about you. Oh, are we done? Sorry, I was having an internal thought moment. I accidentally filled in the blanks to the cowboy, so that will have to go first. But don't worry, it's still an 18 plus story. Let us begin. Our story begins in the year 1880. Out in the Western Territories, there was a town called, City, would you please tell the audience?
Fairy World.
Fairy World. This town was known for its famous object. Number 2.
Baseball.
They must love the Yankees. People would travel from other towns miles away for them. Word quickly spread far and wide, and soon the evil bandit. Number 3.
Johnny Depp.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Spoilers.
Actually, that comes in later. Number 3 is David Tennant. So since it's already been spoiled, you got David Tennant and Johnny Depp in a cowboy story. Johnny Depp. You've really messed me up.
Sorry.
David Tennant.
And Johnny Depp.
Just so in case anyone didn't hear, it's Johnny Depp. David Tennant was known as the baseball thief. And when he heard that the city of Fairy World had the best all around, he rallied up his men, saddled up their horses. They were on their way to Fairy World. When they arrived, the people of the town fled indoors. Windows were being shut left and right, but that did nothing. David Tennant and his men began to ransack the town, breaking down doors, shattering windows, and eventually taking all the baseballs in town. If David Tennant hears this story, I'm so getting a letter in the mail. Even the town sheriffs and deputies were powerless against them. It didn't seem that anyone was going to be able to stop them. Then, from the saloon, a man stepped out wearing a large hat and a fully wrapped cloak. When the bandits saw him, they knew that he would be the problem and decided to deal with him. One by one, they jumped at the chance to take him down. Well, one by one, each of the men were taken down until there were none left. Finally, there was only David Tennant and the mysterious stranger. David Tennant stood at one end of the street with the stranger at the other. Both stood. The town remained quiet. David Tennant said he didn't care who he was going to take him out. When the bell rang high noon for the 3rd time, both stayed still till the clock rang. As it struck noon, it rang once, it rang twice, it rang a 3rd time. Anybody know where this is going yet?
Baseball.
Yes, it involves baseballs. We are aware of that. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
I helped.
David Tennant pulled out his gun, but before he could get a shot off, it was knocked back. The town stared shocked. They were all staring at the stranger. He was holding a large slingshot when he pulled out from under his cloak and used it to shoot the David Tennant with an object known as number 4.
Oh, God.
By the way, I did warn you this was 18 plus.
It's 18 plus for a reason. Dildo!
So just to recap, David Tennant was knocked flat on his ass by a giant dildo shot out of a slingshot. And in the words of the great Lewis Black, that, my friends, is the end of the universe.
Who was the cloak man?
If you haven't figured it out by now, you should really... Spoiler alert!
It's the baseball.
Why is he here? The town cheered and rushed out to meet this man. The sheriff and his deputy began to round up the bandits. As they pulled David Tennant to his feet, they yelled for the stranger to tell them his name. The stranger looked at him and said, "My name is Johnny Depp."
I get it now.
Johnny Depp whistled out and ran the large animal a...
octopus.
This is the middle of the desert. I don't know what he was thinking, but I don't know where he got an octopus from.
He means the other octopus.
He hopped on it and rode into the sunset. The town cheered on as their hero left in a fit of glory. And that, my friends, is the story of the cowboy. Now, at the end of each of my stories, I like to provide a little moral support. The moral of this story is that cowboy movies are awesome. Lionsgate should totally make a movie out of mine. Alright, and that was how many stories have I read before? What is that, like 27, 28? What's 3 times 4? 4 times. I've done...
12.
This is the first one tonight, so why am I trying to count? That is the first story of the night. Thank you all for enjoying that. Second story will be the princess. And you know what? I see a hand. I see several hands. You don't know where I'm going with this. What if I said I need a volunteer for a sacrificial religion? Bob, you're already on the priority list. All right then, beginning the second story, the princess. Let us get around to this, and let us begin. Bob, would you remain in your seat? Can I get one volunteer? Just one single volunteer. I just realized I'm going to have to send someone out to pick up that volunteer. Oh, somebody loves me. Ladies and gentlemen, Pinkie Pie from the .mov. You will be my second volunteer. Would you please go out into the audience and select 6 people? It's weird I had to choose a volunteer for my volunteers. Bob, take notes.
What?
Notes? What do you think? They're notes. Pen, paper, blood. I really don't care. The story of the princess. The right side seems very interested in this story. What happened to the left side, the center, and the front? No threatening on stage. This panel's rated 18, not PG-13. Come on, man. Keep the ratings appropriate.
Oh dear.
Once upon a time. You should already know it's a good story when it starts like that. Once upon a time, there was... Wait, Pinkie Pie, what are you doing down there? You get a chair up here. Yeah, volunteer. Don't be weird.
I had to pay for
You've
this.
made a terrible mistake.
Why can't you be normal like the rest of us? Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess who lived in the kingdom of Blowjob City. She was loved by all and treasured by the king and queen. The princess was known to have the most alluring eye. If you're wondering why I haven't asked any of you to come up and say it, it's probably because I'm very short-term memory. You'll still get counted for it, unless I take credit for it. Anyway, but there lived an evil witch who I don't know how to write. Apparently I wrote a wrong word in here. Envied. I don't know how to say the word envied. Or spell it. Don't judge me. I write books, not fairy tales. It's Panic at the Disco joke. But there lived an evil witch who envied the princess. She knew the princess's most beautiful eye of all the land, and she wanted that gift for herself. So the evil witch made a plan to steal away the princess and take the eye from her. One night, while the kingdom slept, she snuck into the castle using her magic, kidnapped the princess. The king and queen woke to the scream of the princess, rushed to her room, and arrived in time only to see the witch make off with her prize. The king and queen were scared of what the witch might do, so the king decreed that the quest of vanquishing the witch and saving the lost princess. The morning of the quest was to begin. 3 heroes stepped forward and were prepared to take on the dangers facing this threat. The first hero was the kingdom's Dark Knight. Joker did not choose that one. Who was brave? The second was the kingdom's porn star. Who was strong?
The strongest.
I'm not okay with that. And the third hero was the kingdom's dirt farmer. You got the Dark Knight, a porn star, and a dirt farmer. Sounds like the punchline of a bad joke. He knows what I'm talking about. Who was wise?
Not too.
Yeah, obviously not too wise if he's a dirt farmer. Where was I? The king said the one to save the princess would be rewarded with her hand in marriage. Accepting the task, the 3 men took time to gather equipment. The Dark Knight visited the training grounds. The porn star went to the armory.
Was he trying to get the dildo weapon from the last story?
Apparently.
Well, you missed a long story about Johnny Depp and David Tennant fighting each other in the desert before Johnny Depp rode off on his octopus after firing a dildo at David Tennant.
Okay, I just checked. True story. That makes sense.
Apparently it's a true story.
True story.
That makes sense.
And, oh, thank you very much. Monster, the drink of porn stars. And so far you've missed the kingdom of Blowjob City, where the princess has an alluring eye. The Dark Knight, the porn star, and the dirt farmer are going to go save her for her hand in marriage. And that's not even the worst part.
Go on.
The fact that the Dark Knight went to the training grounds, Batman really needs to get a hobby. The porn star went to the armory.
Suit up.
Seriously, I don't like you for making that decision. And the dirt farmer went to the library. He's going to pay for so much property damage. Once they had what they needed, they set off to face the threat the witch had set for them. The hero's first challenge was a goblin. The witch was testing their might. It had been no challenge to the men, who were able to get past it with no problem. The second challenge was a troll. The witch's test the men's blah 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 blah. You guys are terrible at red light, green light. The second challenge was a troll. The witch tested the men's fortitude. The third job. The dirt farmer. This is going to be fun. The dirt farmer had become nervous, and instead of facing the challenge, decided to head back. But the other 2 took on the troll. With a combined effort, they were successful to continue on. The third challenge was the fiercest of all. Who wants to guess what it was?
Hydra.
This isn't one of the guesses,
Shut
so
up, Bob.
feel free.
Spider Man.
What do you get in a princess story?
Dragon? Deadpool.
Okay, I heard dragons, horse, and Deadpool.
It must have been Spider Man.
Bob, shut up.
Of course. Who's everyone's life?
You're all on fire.
It's not on fire. They are fired. It's a dragon.
Sometimes I worry about
The witch was now testing their might. It wasn't long into the battle before the porn star fell to the dragon's sheer power.
porn star.
Contestant number 4, please raise your hand. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. But the Dark Knight stood tall and faced the threat head-on. After what seemed like hours of fighting, the final hero stood victorious over the dragon and made his way into the witch's stronghold. Upon entering the witch's tower, he became ensnared in a trap. The witch had expected at least one to make it this far, but was not so easily willing to give up what she had stolen. And with that, she drained the life out of our hero, leaving nothing left. End of the story, right? No. Come on, the ones of you that said yes should know better. The witch now stood unopposed and felt no one would stop her from taking the princess's eye. Just then, she heard chains fall to the floor. She spun around to see the dirt farmer standing next to the princess, now free from her bonds. The witch stood in confusion as she believed the dirt farmer had given up on the quest. He said he was not abandoning the quest, but instead taking a different path, one out of the view of the witch's power. The witch, now enraged, threw up her most powerful spell and threw it at them. Whoa. So glad this isn't the porn star. The dirt farmer said he had also found in the library that there was an amulet that protected the wearer of all spells. He had found this amulet, snuck into the castle, and released the princess, and had given the amulet to the princess. The witch was now even more confused. The question, why would he give such a powerful item to the princess and not kept it for himself? He explained he was not brave or strong, and he did not know how to fight. But the princess did. And that's my favorite part of the story. And with that, the princess ran up to the witch and used her special attack. All right, I want everyone to guess who gave me this answer. Nay. Congratulations, horse. You've officially been nominated Best Weapons Specialist ever. Keep that trophy away from me. Used her neigh attack on the witch. The great force destroyed the witch's power and had vanquished her forever. I'm starting to think this is a My Little Pony story. Anybody else picturing Fluttershy yelling neigh and destroying a witch? That's what I thought. I love stories. The princess and the dirt farmer returned to the kingdom. The king made good on his word, and the two were happily wed, and they lived happily ever after. That's the end of that story.
Joker, 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 Joker. They respond so well.
He got it. Who here knows any magic tricks?
Not it.
Because I am an amateur, but I wish to, I guess, challenge myself because I feel like I'm put on the spot. So I want to show you guys the first part of the sawing somebody in half trick. I don't know to put together. Okay. Oh my goodness, a story about a sad clown. All right. I have to say, Deadpool and I, we've been friends for quite some time, but I normally do not pay attention to anything he's ever said, ever.
That's what all of us do, sweetheart.
So...
I have to.
Okay, so Hydra Bob, you're kind of the patsy. What are we looking at? Like, we need to get more people to fill this out right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So, do we nominate an entire new group?
Yes.
Is that what we do?
Yes, we nominate a new group.
We nominate an entirely new group. Clear the benches, what are you guys doing? This story is entitled The Sad Clown. There once was a man named Zim. Zim was an entertainer. He was known by everyone as the most entertaining man alive. Oh my goodness, sounds like somebody else I know. People were booking him for parties, birthdays, celebrations, funerals, and celebrations year after year. It seems there was nothing he couldn't do to make people smile. Oh my, I wonder if he had a knife too. One day he received an email from a party planner. They were inviting him to entertain for a group of they were entertained for a group of I guess, a riot.
Rioters.
Rioters, yes. I guess. For, oh my goodness. Forgive me, I might have to go to church after this one. To entertain for a group of rioters for 9/11. He checked his schedule. He checked his schedule and saw that he had the weekend of September 11th free, and he accepted. Probably he did not know what was going on. One of his favorite things to do was he'd wear his wacky outfits each event that he would do. In this event, he had no different. This event was no different, and he decided he would go dressed as a kooky clown. Oh my goodness, I like this guy. Zim. The night of 9/11, Zim threw on his clown get-up and headed out. When he got there, he was greeted by the party planner that he received the email from. She had stated that she was so excited to see him there. Then, before they went inside, she made a request. She knew that he could do many things, and she had asked him if he could murder. Yeah, I guess that's the extra word. Asked him if he could murder. With a sure look on his face, he agreed. You know, like one of these, like, oh yeah, I can murder people. I'm dressed as a clown. I'm here to support rioters to 9/11.
It is a love story.
So excitedly she headed inside to set everything up for him. I guess the people? I have no idea. So Zim thought to himself for a while. Then it occurred to him, he had never murdered before. That's something that you should probably think about before. I don't know, murdering? Regardless, he was confident in his ability to do anything and shook off the doubt. It's like, I don't care what haters tell me. I don't care what these people have said to suppress me. I really think I can do it. If I really believe in myself, I can murder someone. When he heard, I think this is actually my origin story. When he heard his name called to the stage, he stepped out. The audience cheered. Oh my goodness, the audience cheered. Who is he murdering, the audience? Yeah, kill us. If you guys could just do that right now, that would just make my day. The audience cheered, they were excited to see him. He started off with some jokes and a few magic tricks. And then came the time. He took a deep breath and began to murder everyone. He seemed to do it for several minutes. He did it with complete confidence. Oh, goodness. Moments later, he had finished. He looked at the audience, looked out to the audience, and the expression on their faces was absolute rage. I guess the magic tricks didn't compensate for murdering them. Many of the audience members began to boo him, I guess because they were ghosts. Boo! Some started throwing things. Some started to throw things at him. I mean, I've seen a candlestick kind of float around. They were completely filled with rage. He quickly ran outside and worried that things might get worse. Like, have you ever seen the show Ghost Hunters? They don't actually hunt ghosts. Like, if I was a ghost hunter, they just find them. If I was a ghost hunter, which I'm, strongly considering to do because ever since then I've had this fear of ghosts, I would find where the ghosts are, and then stay away from that place. That's like the extent of my ghost hunting. So Zim didn't know what he was supposed to do. He had never been booed off stage from anything. He was capable of doing anything and had always felt proud of what he could do. Yet people felt rage when he murdered them. He sank to the ground and began to weep, you know, the day the clown cried, for good reasons. Then he heard a soft voice asking why he was sad.
So romantic.
Am I supposed to use this one too?
That would be for the purple.
Oh, for the purple. I love purple. He asked why he was so sad. He looked up and saw a little girl standing over him. I guess he had it in his heart not to murder her. What a gentleman. He said to her that he couldn't murder, I guess. The girl sat next to him and asked him what he could do well. He then said he could do a lot of things well. Then she asked him what his favorite thing to do was. He stopped and thought for a moment. He had a talent that he enjoyed above all others. He hopped up, took a few steps forward, and then turned to face the girl. Trust me out on this side. This isn't going where you think it's going. He took a deep breath and with a muster of confidence, he began to mind read. The girl began to laugh and smile because obviously I guess he can't. It's like hold on, let me try this out for example. Let me see if I have the power to this day. You're thinking of how cool I am. Whoa, I guess I've improved. He stopped and looked at her, and he asked why she laughed. She said, because it was awesome. He smiled and then started to mind read again. Soon, he heard people gathering around him. Some were smiling, others were laughing. Something about his mind reading was bringing smiles to their faces. And it made him feel good as well. Zim was no longer sad, and he had the best show of his life. Moral, do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. Unless someone boos you, then I guess find something else. But, you see, I have lived by this. Even clowns can get sad. But what's most important is that I'm happy because I, the Clown Prince of Crime, am the most important clowns in your lives. And before I go, the statement rings true today. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Well, I've murdered a lot of people, and trust me, prison just lets you sleep all day.
Man, that was long and hard.
That's what she
I did not mean it like that! That is going to be the #1 comment on this YouTube video for the next 6 years. I would like to thank everyone for coming out. This has been the 3rd installment of Storytime with Deadpool. I would also like to thank the illustrious, lovely, and drop-dead sexy Joker for coming up and reading the 3rd story. He will be coming back again. Pay attention for his 2016 election. And I would also like to thank all of the audience members for coming up and filling in the blanks. At the end of the panel, if I could have you come up and fill in your name, that way we can tag you into this video, that would be much appreciated. And I would also like to thank my friend, Typhoid Mary. Typhoid, Walker, or Bloody right now?
Typhoid.
I'm okay with that.
The others are still in the dealer's hall.
Oh, good. So you locked them in.
Yeah.
I would also like to thank my buddy Weasel for coming up and providing technical support because Lord knows this guy needs some love. He is and I'm saying this within a fraction of my mind, he is the one, only Weasel cosplayer ever! And he will be back again. And finally, I would like to thank...
All right, that's it. And I'd like to thank Deadpool here for talking me into it.
Talking him into is a pretty big word. I'd say forced him. And finally, and most of you are wondering why she's not coming back for the next one. How many would like to see Mary in the next one? Can't argue with the fans. And finally, I would like to thank my buddy Hydra Bob here. He will be taking recruitment outside the door for Hydra. Don't worry, S.H.I.E.L.D. is not in the building at the moment. Therefore, you won't have trouble.
We have a
That's
shield!
exactly what I thought. Bob, would you like to say something to the audience?
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra, ladies and gentlemen. Hail Hydra! My name is Kyle Eden Akers. My cosplay page is KIA Cosplay. You can find me on Facebook. You will see me at Nerd Caliber along with Brady Gaga, aka Brady Hall, aka The Joker on Nerd Caliber. Please subscribe to YouTube, and as always, stay nerdy, stay popular,